The housekeeper brought her daughter to play with the millionaire's child, but he noticed something. The golden chandelier in the sprawling living room of Daniel's mansion cast a warm, inviting glow over the polished marble floors. It was a space designed to impress, filled with art that cost more than most people earned in a lifetime. Daniel, a self-made millionaire known for his sharp business acumen, sat in his velvet armchair, reviewing contracts on his tablet. He barely looked up when Louisa, his devoted housekeeper of 10 years, entered quietly, holding the hand of her 6-year-old daughter, Beatrice. "Mr. Daniel," Louisa whispered, her voice trembling slightly with apology. "I hope you don't mind. The school bus broke down, and I had no one else to watch Beatrice. She promised to be as quiet as a mouse." Daniel waved a dismissive but kind hand. "It is fine, Louisa. Let them play. Tiago needs a friend anyway. He spends too much time alone with his tutors." Tiago, Daniel's son, was already in the center of the room, surrounded by a fortress of toys. At 7 years old, he possessed everything a child could dream of. Today's prize was a limited edition remote-controlled blue sports car imported from Germany, costing nearly $3,000. It hummed softly as it glided across the floor, its LED lights flashing like stars. Beatrice, shy and small in her faded dress, sat cross-legged on the expensive rug, keeping a respectful distance. From her small bag, she pulled out her most cherished possession, a doll. It was not bought in a store. It was crafted from an old sock with button eyes that didn't quite match and yarn hair that had been washed so many times it was fraying. One of its arms was held together by a clumsy but loving stitch of red thread. For the first 20 minutes, the room was silent save for the whir of Tiago's car. Then the inevitable happened. Tiago grew bored of the solitary drive. He looked over at Beatrice. Curiosity, pure and unfiltered, drew him closer. He stopped his expensive machine and crawled toward the little girl. "What is that?" Tiago asked, pointing at the patched-up doll. "This is Maria," Beatrice said, softly, clutching the doll to her chest as if protecting it from the grandeur of the room. "She helps me sleep when the thunder comes." Tiago tilted his head. He looked at his sleek battery-operated car, then back at the sock doll. "Does Maria have batteries?" "No," Beatrice smiled, a gap-toothed grin that lit up her face. "But she has a heart. My mommy made her when we didn't have money for stores. She says love makes things real, not plastic." In that moment, time seemed to freeze for Daniel. He had lowered his tablet, watching the scene unfold with an intensity he hadn't felt in years. He saw the stark, painful contrast before him. On one side, a toy worth a fortune that could break or run out of power, leaving a void. On the other, a piece of trash transformed to a treasure by a mother's love, holding an infinite supply of comfort. Daniel felt a lump form in his throat. For years, he had believed that providing the best material things was the ultimate act of fatherhood. He had worked himself to the bone to ensure Tiago never wanted for anything. Yet, watching his son gaze at Beatrice's doll with a longing he had never seen directed at his own gifts, Daniel realized he had missed the point entirely. He saw the injustice not just in the poverty of the housekeeper, but in the emotional poverty of his own wealthy home. Tiago had everything, yet Beatrice seemed to possess something far more valuable: the ability to find joy in simplicity and the security of unconditional love. Tears pricked Daniel's eyes. He stood up slowly, walking over to the children. He didn't speak about the car or the cost of things. Instead, he knelt on the cold marble, bringing himself to their level. "Beatrice," Daniel said, his voice thick with emotion, "may I meet Maria?"
The little girl hesitated, then gently placed the ragged doll in the hands of the millionaire. Daniel held it as if it were made of glass, feeling the rough texture of the sock and the uneven stitches. He looked at Louisa, who was watching from the doorway with fear in her eyes, expecting reprimand. "Louisa," Daniel said, looking up with a renewed sense of purpose, "you have given my son a gift today that all my money could never buy. Thank you." From that day forward, the mansion changed. The walls remained, and the luxury persisted, but the atmosphere shifted. Daniel learned that true wealth wasn't in what you owned, but in how you loved. And sometimes the greatest lessons come from the smallest, most patched-up things. If you believe in kindness and second chances, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories. Your support helps us spread hope to millions. Don't forget to tell us where you're watching from in the comments below. We love hearing from our global family. Thanks for watching.